All right, so it's time now for Scal's lucky pick, and here's the crazy thing about Boston, Miami. So first of all, I thought Celtics were going to win Game 1, but then I got the news that no Al Horford COVID protocol, no Marcus Smart, and I thought to myself right away, we're not winning this game. Now the funny thing that happened when I got that news was I was sitting pretty invested in the under. I think this is going to be a knockout, drag-out series. When I got the news that this was going to happen, all of a sudden I was assuming that that number would jump. You have Marcus Smart, who is Defensive Player of the Year, defense. Al Horford, which on paper, if you use on-court, off-court, Al Horford had the biggest defensive impact for the Celtics this year. But for whatever reason, the number dropped another point. It was sitting at 203. It opened at 206, went down to 203 and a half. I got it there. And then right after that news came out, 203. So it goes down a half a point. And I get it. Like everybody was thinking, well, you don't have those really good players. How is this going to work? But I actually thought the opposite. When you get role players out there, you're going to get a more wide open, a more free, and more importantly, more heavy turnover game, which leads to easy buckets, which leads to, in my opinion, the spike in the points. Well, I didn't get out of it because I was thinking, what does the market know that I don't know? I stuck with it, and sure enough, the over hit, and it hit easy, and you could tell that the over was going to hit right away. So let's fast forward to Game 2 and what we expect. We have a Celtic team that played wild and free in the first half, and Miami kind of running in mud a little bit. Well, I don't expect that to happen, them playing so wild and free, but I do expect them to clean up their mishaps in that third quarter, which leads me to some of my best bets. I'm loving the Celtics right now in the first quarter. I'm seeing anywhere between 1 point, 1.5 points, right? I think they're going to come out, and I think they're going to handle their business early. Rob Williams looking athletic again, not like look like he's been out for a while. That's going to make an impact. He is usually a really high impact player in that first quarter. So I love the Celtics in the first quarter. Another thing I love is the Miami Heat going under. I'm seeing right now 25.5 on Miami Heat total going under. So I feel like the Celtics are going to win this. I feel like it could be, so I don't want to touch the I feel like there's a lot of different ways that this thing could go, but I do think that the Miami Heat will be 18 to 23 in that range right there. Like I said, this game with Marcus Smart inserted into, the starting lineup, even though I haven't heard that yet, all the news is coming in that Smart's going to play, and Marcus Smart playing, I think it will take the air out of that first quarter. Both teams will be in that heavyweight fight, kind of feeling each other out. So I do like the under on the Miami Heat at 25.5. Another one, so I think the Miami Heat can score. They score off of offensive rebounds. They score off of a lot of junk plays and a ton of points off of turnovers. Jason Tatum is not going to turn the ball over 6 times in the third quarter, and the Miami Heat aren't going to all lead to easy fast break dunks or transition threes. So take away, in my opinion, about 10 of those points that are just, I considered, bad offense or opening up lanes for offensive rebounds. Celtics will clean that up in this game. Marcus Smart will obviously have a major impact against Jimmy Butler. So look for the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics, for that matter, to have more of a low-scoring game. Now we go to the third quarter, and the Heat outscore the Celtics 39-14. So during that time, so that's not going to happen either, right? The Celtics aren't as good as what we saw in that first half playing wild and free, and the Heat aren't as good as crushing the Celtics 39-14. Come to the middle, and this becomes a knockout, drag-out, which leads me to another Scal's best bet, which is under the 207.5. Like, if you could still get that, I think that thing dropped right off the jump. It opened up at 206.5, dropped to 203.5. The news comes out, went to 203, and now I think everyone is overreacting to the high-scoring game. This series is a knockout, drag-out slugfest, there's a course correction that's going to happen in game 2. So look for the under on the 207.5 in it. I hate rooting for unders, but hey, I'm on TV telling you guys this is best bet. And I have to just be honest. I do not think the over is going to hit. I really do feel like both of these scores are going to be in the 90s for game 2. So as far as a winner, I'm not comfortable with Al Horford being out. I have no idea how ultimately this thing is going to unfold. If the Celtics can take care of the ball, Al Horford is a huge piece of this. And I'm rolling the dice on Grant Williams, who had an amazing game 7 and then kind of was a no-show in game 1. So the roller coaster ride of the Boston Celtics with injuries, I don't like to play them, and nor do I think the Heat are going to come out and knock it out of the park as well. Love the under on this. Want to stay away from the over. Once again, on the recap, take the Celtics in the first. They get off to a good start. Take the Miami Heat total under 25.5, and I love the total over. Oh, and one more thing. When Jimmy Butler scores 40 points, he usually backs that up right around averaging, it's somewhere between 22 and 23 points. They got his number right now at 26.5. I'm not going to call that a best bet. I am going to put a little bit of action on the under on Jimmy Butler because I don't think that he hits the 27 mark. Once again, this is a course correction. Everyone is overreacting to the way that Butler played in that first game.